In The Empire Strikes Back, Luke has a vision of his friends, Han, Leia and Chewie, being in trouble on Cloud City, and so left Dagobah despite Yoda's advice not to go. But what if Luke wasn't so impatient? What if Luke never went to Cloud City? Hello and welcome back to Vault Holocron. Have a great day and I hope you enjoyed the video. Luke stands ready to shoot off to Cloud City and rescue Han, Leia and Chewie. He tells Yoda,
"But Han and Leia will die if I don't."
Obi-Wan responds,
"You don't know that. Even Yoda cannot see their fate."
It takes some time, but eventually Luke understands and decides to do right by the Jedi and complete his training. Yoda and Ben are relieved that they could talk some sense into Luke. On Cloud City, Han has been tortured and turned into carbonite, and Vader grows impatient. Why is it taking so long? Lando responds, perhaps he isn't coming. Vader says, for your sake, you should hope he does. Lando replies, I held up my end of the deal. You said you wouldn't hurt Han, so tell me, why is he in a block of carbonite on his way to Jabba, and now you threaten me? Vader lifts Lando into the air with the Force and firmly states, if I find out you have had anything to do with this, you will suffer. Meanwhile on Dagobah, Luke starts to get tired as the day's worth of training starts to draw close. He lies down in the tiny little hut. Luke thinks about Cloud City, Han, Leia and Chewbacca, and can't help but wish he was there. The claustrophobic hut brings a longing to fight. Eventually, he falls asleep. On Cloud City, Leia and Chewie start looking around their prison, looking for any form of escape from their impending doom. Lando, now completely done with Vader, works on a plan to get Leia and Chewbacca out. He just needs to distract Vader. Luke jolts up, smacking his head on the roof. He's panting and sweating, visions of Bespin filling his mind like the thick fog on Dagobah. Luke confronts Yoda. All I can see is Cloud City. Can't I go? When will I be ready? Yoda tells Luke, patience you must have. Guides us the Force does, not your feelings. Luke then replies, but what if they die? I can't lose them as well. Yoda says,
train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
Luke replies, but what if I don't have to lose them? Han saved my life. Don't I owe it to him to return the favor? Yoda replies, a trap it is. Return the favor, you likely will not. Luke says, as a Jedi, aren't we supposed to help people, not sit in a swamp hiding? Yoda says, patience, Skywalker. Hold you back your attachments do. Help we will, but later. Act now, and the dark side you may fall to. Luke feels like he can't do anything right, but yields to the wise Jedi Master. On Cloud City, Lando brings into action a plan. He aims to escape Cloud City with Leia and Chewbacca, and warn Cloud City of the Empire. Lando uses all of the connections he can get and organises an X-Wing to dock at his landing bay. His idea is that the Empire will see the X-Wing, think it's Luke, and so Vader's attention will be diverted away from their escape. Lando, Leia and Chewie all wait, restlessly pacing around and twiddling their thumbs. The all clear comes through. Lando begins escorting Leia and Chewie. An X-Wing approaches Cloud City. As expected, the Empire are ready and alert Vader. Lando and his guards turn on the stormtroopers and begin making their escape, running down corridors and fighting their way out. Vader replies to his men, blast the X-Wing. Lando, Leia and Chewie grow closer to the Millennium Falcon, kept at a different spaceport than the one where the X-Wing is trying to land. Vader, fueled by rage, stands at the end of their corridor and yells, you thought you could deceive me? He slices through Lando's guards like they are butter and marches closer to the trio. The ground beneath Lando's feet falls away as he is raised into the air, shooting forwards towards Vader. Leia and Chewie run onto the landing platform and climb aboard the Millennium Falcon, booting it up. Vader states, your tricks are useless next to the power of the Force. He then plunges his lightsaber into Lando's stomach, reveling in the excruciating pain Lando is enduring. Vader's mind then steadies on the task at hand. He swiftly moves to the landing station, where the Falcon is rising into the air. Leia and Chewie move forwards desperate to escape, when the ship jolts as it's held in place. Their minds can barely fathom what is happening. Vader slowly drags the ship towards him, knowing that the bait only works if they are alive. Chewie scrambles around the cockpit. It's not the smartest maneuver while this low in the atmosphere, but what choice does Chewie have? The Falcon jumps into light speed, pieces being torn off as it leaves Vader's grip. The Falcon may not last long after this, but at least they will. Luke's intense vision fades, and he questions Yoda, asking what happened. Luke then pauses his training and travels to the rendezvous point, holding out hope that Han, Leia and Chewie are alive. When he arrives, he is relieved to see Leia and Chewbacca, but that relief is not long-lived. He quickly notices Han's absence and asks what happened. Upon hearing what happened to Han, Luke can't help but feel he's responsible. After all, he did nothing. What if he could have saved Han? Yoda was holding him back. Yoda didn't want him to reach his full potential. Despite his resentment, Luke still returns to the Jedi, knowing that their crimes are little in comparison to the Empire, but he knows that next time they won't hold him back. When making this what if, I kind of forgot that Luke makes his green lightsaber because he lost his original one. But for the purposes of this what if, let's just say he made his new lightsaber just to represent completing his training or something. Okay, so jumping to Return of the Jedi, Luke, Leia and Chewbacca make a very similar plan to break Han out, just without Lando's help. Most of the events of Return of the Jedi are very similar to the actual movie, just without Lando. Luke starts to feel disillusioned with the Jedi, much like his father did all those years ago. Luke starts to imagine ending Vader into the Emperor. He's powerful enough after all, right? It's the Battle of Endor. Luke surrenders to the Empire, but this time, just as he senses Vader, he turns on the stormtroopers. Even with his hands restricted, he's able to fight well, but without a weapon, he starts to tire, while the stormtroopers do not. He places his handcuffs in the way of a blaster bolt. Luke is free. He fights and grabs his lightsaber through the Force, and now the battle is just easy. He effortlessly swings his blade, slicing each stormtrooper. One begs for mercy before being struck by Luke's green blade. Then, in perfect timing, Vader arrives just in front of Luke. Luke shouts, "You killed my father." Vader responds,
No, I am your father.
Luke says,
No. It's not true. That's impossible.
Vader replies,
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
he hates it, but he knows Vader is right. Luke shouts, "This changes nothing, you're still a monster," and lunges at Vader in a fit of rage. Between blocking an onslaught of attacks, Vader says, "The Jedi are holding you back." Luke shouts back, "Shut up," and continues his barrage of attacks. Vader responds, "As they did to me." Luke finally bests Vader, his lightsaber effortlessly severing Vader's mechanical hand. In this universe, Luke doesn't look at his robotic hand. He instead looks at the defeated Vader proudly. Desperate, Vader appeals to Luke again, "As the Emperor does to me."
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Luke just stands, his lightsaber raised ready to make the final strike. But he can't. Like it or not, he sees himself in Vader. Luke withdraws his blade and states, "Take me to him." Vader and Luke stand awkwardly in the lift, Vader gripping his blade with his left hand. The lift ride feels like it goes on forever. Luke can sense the fear in Vader, a true fear he would never have expected. They reach the top and pace over to the Emperor.
Welcome, young Skywalker.
Palpatine says, "I see that you have bested Vader."
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
Luke says,
Soon I'll be dead, and you with me.
unless my demands are met. Palpatine cackles with laughter as Vader and Luke raise their blades. Palpatine says, I know what your pitiful friends are planning, and I know what you two plan now. You will fail at both. The Emperor launches a stream of lightning from his fingertips. Luke can feel the bolts as they soar towards him. Ready, he lifts his emerald blade, but the bolts don't strike his blade. There, Vader's crimson blade lies in front of him. Luke looks at Vader surprised. Perhaps Vader wasn't only using him for power. Palpatine rips an upper floor apart and sends the debris hurtling at both Luke and Vader. Luke and Vader move in opposite directions, each dodging and slicing the debris, edging closer to Palpatine. The Imperial Guards step in. Some edge closer to Vader, and the others edge closer to Luke. Luke dodges another piece of debris, sending it hurtling back at an Imperial Guard through the Force. Luke picks up an electro staff, now protecting himself using both the lightsaber and the staff. Meanwhile, Vader dodges the debris, but having only one hand, it is not so simple for him to dispatch the guards. Vader slices a piece of debris, guiding the swing into an Imperial Guard, who doesn't block fast enough and is cut down. He dodges another piece of debris and blocks a swing from an electro staff. Vader quickly dashes to the side to dodge another piece of debris. The guards take advantage of this opportunity and each attack immediately, and Vader feels a sharp sting in his back. The electro staff is strong against his mechanical body. Palpatine just cackles. Noticing this weakness, Palpatine soars the vicious blue power towards Vader, all without easing the amount of debris that is being hurtled towards Luke. Vader holds his blade against the Emperor's lightning, just enduring the agony from the guards. Luke notices this and begins to feel a sea of rage wash over him. The Emperor won't get away with this. Luke severs the debris from Palpatine's grip, firing half at the guards and half at Palpatine. Vader collapses, and Palpatine force pulls Vader's lightsaber towards himself. Luke rushes to Vader, in his rage hurtling lightning towards the guards attacking Vader, killing them. Luke then faces Palpatine. Palpatine cackles again and says, lightsaber to lightsaber, I like it. Luke sends a fury of strikes to the Emperor, but he bats them off like insects and just grins. Luke, relentless, just keeps violently swinging in hope that just one strike will land. Palpatine just cackles and bats each of them off. After some time, Palpatine says, I've had my fun, and severs Luke's hand. He then says, like father, like son. Take this as your first lesson. Palpatine then launches lightning at Luke. Luke falling to the ground in pain. Palpatine says, I take you as my apprentice. Luke shouts back, never, I hate you. Palpatine says, good, use your hatred as my apprentice. First you must learn what the price is for those who do not listen to me. Palpatine shoots lightning at Luke again. Suddenly, Palpatine feels the grip of a hand around his waist as he is dragged to an endless pit. The next thing he knows, he is falling. Luke stumbles over to Vader. Luke says, stay with me, father. Vader says, do not worry about me. I will remain. I always do. Luke carries Vader's body to a shuttle and leaves. The Death Star explodes behind him, and he zips off into hyperspace. Vader is taken to Mustafar to heal. Luke returns to Endor, celebrates, and after some time reveals his intention to reform the Empire into his own empire, in which no longer will cruelty be allowed for the sake of cruelty. Only the people he hates shall suffer. Obviously, Han, Leia, and Chewie hate this idea and stand against Luke. Luke takes them as his prisoners, hoping to bring them around to the idea. However, when Vader sees Luke's friends, he tells Luke that he must kill them, as they will only hold him back. Luke tells Vader that Leia is his sister, and that he will not hurt her. Over time, Luke and Vader come to rule the Empire. Luke becoming a Sith, and Leia training in the dark side. Meanwhile, the rebellion struggles on, going from fight to fight, desperate for a chance to stop this new rule. Eventually, Luke stands against Vader, taking Leia as his apprentice. Luke prevails as Sith Lord, and the rule of the Sith remains. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this What If, and bye.